All right, welcome back to the Malapert Smart Podcast. We are rolling tonight with Vlad, the wrestling expert. Robert is here. All the legends of the Malapert Smart Podcast. Future Hall of Famers, some of them. But we're here to talk about wrestling today, thankfully, because we don't want to talk about our lives and think about the horribleness of the world. Let's just go with pro wrestling, because that's kind of nice. So this week, we're going to talk about the Sky Blue Toni Storm World AEW Women's Title match from this past Wednesday. This was a pretty nice superstar showdown. Man, she's very elegant when she walks out. You know, I've never seen anyone hold the title belt like that.
Like they're holding a purse.
Yeah. Yeah, she holds it very classy-like. This is the battle of the butt attacks. Both of these girls attack people with their big, enormous butts, what they're known for. Sky Blue getting a title shot. I don't know if she's had one before, but she is a big fan favorite amongst AEW circles. This was the beginning when they were locking up, but I'm going to skip a little further in. We got a titty slap, I guess.
Wow.
Here's a butt attack, and I think Sky Blue... Well, that was bad for Toni Storm, too. Looked like it hurt. Sky Blue, her too. They call it hip attack, but it's really a butt attack.
Yeah.
But Sky Blue put in a good performance. She looked like she was going to win for a second, but her code blue is pretty cool. That's a good move, I will say, if I'm analyzing some Sky Blue work. But this is the ending. Let's check it out.
But trouble, here it comes. Hip attack connects. We're talking about a collision.
And now, oh no, it's Sky Blue countered the Storm Zero. But now the high stack and
Okay, you know, I remember what I was going to say about that. That wasn't a pinfall. Like, her shoulders aren't on the floor at all, so she has a gripe there.
Good point.
I don't think it's not because of an angle. It's just that
Yeah, they just messed up.
they just messed up. Yeah.
They could turn it into an angle. Just give her a rematch, maybe. Make Sky Blue a little more evil. Total heel, other than just wearing black eyeliner. Does that make you evil? She hasn't really done anything evil. But anyways, to conclude this segment, Toni Storm has been having feuds with these women because they steal her spotlight. And someone else came in to steal her spotlight in this segment. I know Vlad's gonna love this. Someone's music hits that hasn't been around in a while. And Riho. Riho. Okay, so Riho, for those of you who don't know, was the first AEW Women's World Champion, and a lot of classic wrestling fans made fun of it because she's just too small and it looks ridiculous, like a little girl, I guess. And here she is to challenge Toni Storm out of the blue. She lives in Japan or something, so she comes back once in a while. I think they're going to have some fighting here. Drop kick. Okay, just a drop kick. And then Toni Storm retreats. But at least Riho tries to get the crowd involved there. I like that. Not enough people do that, you know, when the crowd's like dead. Tell them to get up. But at least she's a showman. A show woman, excuse me. Toni Storm is pretty hilarious here. this look. Just like incredible facial expression. Even though some people think this storyline has jumped the shark with her being a silent film actress. But she's been acting crazy. The rest of the show kind of goes along with it instead of expressing that she's pretty much crazy at this point, the way she's acting.
Yeah.
But
She should be locked in the loony bin.
yeah, and everyone's just like, no, she totally is a great Hollywood actress, and which is kind of weird, but okay. I still dig her. I dug that match. They both looked amazing. I think Toni Storm is a little silly in this era, this gimmick she's having, and it leaks into her matches, and that's the one thing I would say. If she wants to be silly off the air, that's fine, but the matches should be serious. Anyone have any comments on this? Let's start with Vlad. The Sky Blue match first, and then the Riho thing.
There was a spot where Luther was carrying her on his shoulder.
You know what?
You didn't show.
I was supposed to cut that, but I forgot to. You know what? That was an interesting spot. Let me find it.
Okay, fine. So we can look at it, and hopefully our subscribers or any new subscribers can see this because it was a pretty absurd.
I had never seen this in wrestling. Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know, Luther is Toni Storm's butler, so he's going to help her out here. This is not a DQ because he's not hitting Skye Blue at all. Good point, Vlad. Good point to bring that up. I thought that was a nice spot.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't really have much to say about the match. It wasn't that bad. It was fine. I mean, it was obviously, as you said, because of her comedic character, her matches are more comedic, which is okay. I just don't know why their world champions are always in like funny angles, like they have to be totally crazy and loony and nuts.
Yeah, the world champion shouldn't be comic relief, is what you're saying. There should be.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Guy. Yeah, this should be an underneath gimmick or a mid card gimmick. It's fine, but when it's like the world champion.
Well, what about when Stone Cold was all goofy with Kurt Angle in the back? You know, everyone's had their phase. Maybe the Undertaker. I can't think of one goofy segment he did.
Hold on, but for Stone Cold, that was a little different situation because Stone Cold was injured, so he couldn't work matches. They had to put him in backstage segments and do angles like that where he didn't actually have to, was doing any.
All right. Good point.
It was
a
little different.
Yeah. All right, hold on, Robert. Let me let Vlad finish, and then I'll get to you.
No, and Robert's right. Of course, there's a huge differences with Stone Cold doing it, who's like one of the most over wrestlers of all time, and Toni Storm. But the thing that pissed me off about this is not the match or even the funny gimmick. It's as you said, it's Riho coming in. Why do they continuously come back to this girl? I have no idea. I don't understand it. I can't for the life of me understand it. It was fine when the company first started and she was their first women's champion. But why these years later when nobody wants to see Riho on American television in wrestling? I'm sorry.
Tony Khan's a big fan. It's all about Tony Khan. You know that.
Well, sure. But you have to look for your fans, not for yourself, not stuff that makes you laugh and giggle. You have to look for people that want to see things. And Riho is not somebody that I want to see. And I know very few people that watch wrestling that care enough to see Riho, especially being involved again in the women's world title picture against Toni Storm. I do not want to see that at all. I mean, where are all the good women wrestlers that they had before? Well, I mean, they never had that many. Where's Britt Baker? Where's
Well, she's the devil, but some people say
she's not the devil. Well, I mean, she could be the devil, I guess, but say that would be dumb. Is like, I don't know. And a lot of things in AEW can be dumb. But I know Jamie Hayter's injured, but okay. What happened to what's her face? Thunder Rosa. She also.
Yeah, there was one when Collision started. She was going to be like a star of Collision. She walked into Tony Khan's office and never was on the show ever again.
Never again. Never showed her again after that. What about that other one that was really good? Oh my God, what's her name? The one that used to be in WWE and she was with Punk. No.
Yeah, Serena Deeb. Yeah, I remember her.
Serena Deeb.
That's a good one. You're right.
What happened?
She's upset about the booking from what I
heard. It's probably because the show is stupid. She left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I know, I understand that. Okay, well, that's what she said, then I completely can understand that.
No, I've never heard her say anything. She just disappeared. You're right.
But I guess my main point is, where are all the possible good, even indie women's wrestlers that they could probably find or develop instead of going to Riho, who... It's the same thing that they were doing with Shida, who, of course, they always also go back to as being their world champion, who also is like the most boring, average worker
they say this started because of Kenny Omega working in Japan, and he made friends with all these girls, so he has a connection with that, and Tony Khan kind of relies on Omega as his vice president, so it comes from Kenny Omega. But I think Tony Khan likes her too. I mean, she's cool looking, I guess. She just doesn't look like a wrestler. That's the problem. But I think Tony Khan doesn't care about that. He's obviously Orange Cassidy, so let's not really talk about the logistics and the realisticness of it.
Well, I'm not. I'm saying that they should already find or develop better women wrestlers, because the women's division is garbage and has been for so long, and they really need to do something about it. And what they keep doing is going to Riho and back to Shida, and there's really nothing there. There's really nothing going on in this division that anyone would care about. That's why I mentioned, like, where are all these people that actually somebody did care about, like Thunder Rosa or even Britt Baker.
All right.
you know,
Well, we get your point.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're disappointed with the direction the women's division's going in. It's not uncommon to hear this amongst wrestling fans, AEW
No, of
fans.
course not.
We've heard this. The AEW women's division doesn't get enough time and isn't booked well. Well, it isn't booked well. If it's not getting enough time, that's another story. But anyways, let's jump to Robert before we got to end this segment. Robert, give us some comments for the match and I guess whatever you think about Riho.
For the match, I don't know, suddenly I have this craving for cake. I'm not sure why.
Oh God.
Oh wait, the match. Let me talk about the match.
Yes.
Focus on the match. Yeah, the match was good. I enjoyed it. I'm being serious right now. I enjoyed the match.
Yeah, I enjoyed
really
it
did.
too. I thought it was wonderful.
Yes, it was. But,
Because of all the cakes.
Well, it was that and Edge and Christian, and that was it for this show, basically, because that MJF match didn't even happen.
Right.
all right. So I'm not much of a fan of Toni Storm's current gimmick. However, her matches are still pretty good, so I'm not really complaining about that. Skye Blue, I will say, I remember in a few episodes back when we were talking about Julia Hart, maybe like a month or two ago, I remember mentioning that I didn't feel like she was ready for a title shot. To me, she felt too green. Skye Blue to me is a lot closer to someone being worthy of a title contention. She looks like
Yes.
she can work a lot better than Julia Hart. So
Yes, I'll
her
agree with
having
that.
a title shot for me makes more sense. And I'm glad that she did have one, even though it was in a Dynamite episode. I do think she deserves to get pushed a little bit more, and I'm pretty sure she will. She seems to have a pretty decent following. But yeah, I did enjoy the match. Riho, not a fan.
Interesting.
I was never a fan of her personally, and I do remember she was pointing at the belt after Toni Storm left the ring, as if to signal that she's gonna have a title shot. This makes no sense. I mean, Riho's very, very rarely there. Let's just
She's a former champion.
let's say let's take the fact that I'm not a fan out of the equation, right? I'm trying to be like non-biased here. She's rarely around. She shows up every now and then disappears. So just even from that standpoint, it doesn't make sense that she has a title shot. That's
All
what I have
right.
to say about that.
All right. Well, let's not bash on Riho all night. That'll be it for this segment. I guess I don't mind it. I'll watch it. I'll watch Riho versus Toni Storm. It should be
Sure.
kind of funny, kind of funky. Let's see if it's always interesting to see if someone can work a match with a really small person and make it look okay. You know, it might be horrible, but we'll see. All right. Well, that'll be all for this segment. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit like. Don't forget, man. Just don't forget. All right. We'll see you on the next segment.